Diamond Hands and 30K, they are very consistent scrim partners. At least leading up to this, we might see a completely wacky different meta in this series than we've seen in the past games because they've been consistently scrimming versus each other. They're really the only two North American teams that are playing a lot of games. So
they know the secrets.
Yeah, exactly. They know what the other team's trying to do. So we might see some weird layers coming out.
All right, here we go. Let's head straight into the match. Game number 1, Infernal Shrines. First pick, we'll be heading over to Diamond Hands, and we'll be setting up with a Diablo and a Volibear immediately here. Diablo continue to be a mainstay, although it feels like teams are getting a little bit better at handling that Diablo. They continue to have him in every single matchup.
Yeah, something like the Malthael, I think, has been pretty good into it. But this Volibear so early out is kind of making me say a little bit of that, scrim meta, right? Of recognizing, hey, this is a pick that they really like, and we're going to take that away. Oftentimes Vala does enable that double support.
Sure.
Vala is good without the double support, but that's really an area where I think she really enables your team and shines. And, maybe that's a sign of, hey, we don't want to deal with your double support if you are able to get a Vala.
Well, Hanzo being taken out. Hanzo is being one of the best engagers when it comes to this tournament. In fact, last we saw Hasuabs running Hanzo, and there were a few snipes that he was able to perform incredibly well, 2 or 3 kills. So even if you don't use that as an engage, it can be a great tool for making sure the opponent does not run away from the fight after you've earned that W. So I love the ban, a Junkrat ban coming in as well, and now it is time. Blaze has been the main focus for a lot of teams. Johanna's been getting a lot of bans, but Johanna is going to be the first pick here for Diamond Hands.
I mean, pretty powerful hero. Also doesn't show a lot of what you're trying to do, and I think on Infernal Shrines in particular, the ability to pull, those shrine minions together is really, really nice. Like Johanna with your tank basically provides you a lot of shrine clear, also a lot of wave clear, and doesn't really expose what your comp's trying to do, but in return, 30K is going to take the Blaze and the Tychus, so, securing themselves a tank shredder in Tychus and Blaze, just a very powerful, I would say, probably the best, if not, one of the top 2, top 3 offlaners right now in the meta, and Liam, in my opinion, one of the best Blaze players.
Cantaloupe.
Cantaloupe!
I do think that the Johanna actually being a first pick kind of lends to what you were talking about these two being scrim partners. Kato seems like if there is an option between Johanna and Diablo, he kind of moves towards the Johanna a bit more because of the synergy between him and Liam.
Yeah.
Being able to get that condemn and have a follow-up from any top laner that is going to be there for CC, Johanna's a bit easier to pull off compared to the possible fumble with the Diablo combo, right? So I kind of think that's why we see the Johanna being picked up here first. Deckard Cain and Maka is going to be picking up the Sylvanas. Now, Deckard Cain, we've seen once, I believe, already this tournament. Deckard's Lord Nado has been the major choice, and Heavy seems to be incredibly strong on that character.
Yeah, I mean, Deckard, definitely I'll be interested to see how they do. Does not have a cleanse, right? So if they are able to pair up, a pretty powerful CC chain, can be really strong into Deckard. But if you're not able to really burst him down, has amazing sustain, really impactful ultimates, a lot of really good CC, especially, on these shrine zones, with the triangle, with the slow. But, I want to talk about my main man, Maka, for a second.
Lay it on me.
Not trying to call him a Sylv one trick, just trying to say that his Sylv is like way above anyone else's. Like, he really loves this hero and is one of the best on Sylvanas, at least in North America. I feel like consistently, is able to know his limits, hit very powerful Wailing Arrows. So, very much a comfort pick for Maka here.
I like the Nubrak pick coming in. Cocoon, very helpful against Deckard Cain compositions with all those potions being scattered around. Being able to get in there, because he's actually kind of hard to kill if he's tucked into a pocket really well, thanks to his passive. Being able to put a Cocoon down and say, all right, let's do this fight now before you get too many potions out, before you get too much setting up, and also that Lord Nado, we can find a pick before you even come out of that, is a massive draw for them. Hogger and Dahaka, the double offlaners. Hogger has been used in the 3 to 4 man rotation multiple times this weekend, but very heavy on the front line.
Yeah, pretty interesting, and they have the Tychus in response. So, I think if you're side of 30K, you don't hate this. Nubrak is not the most tanky frontliner, so definitely could kind of be a kill target, and that's going to be Malthael for the side of 30K. And into, this triple frontline, I think it's a great last pick.
Sure.
The question is going to be how much can Liam get done with it? But
is it Liam on the Blaze, or is it Cure playing Malthael?
Yeah, it's probably going to be Cure. You're right.
Yeah.
Listen, I wear these glasses, and normally I have prescription glasses, so I can't actually really see that
It wasn't me trying to tell you that you're not picking the right person.
Off so that I can actually see who's playing what.
Sure.
But this is it. We got game number 1. This is North America versus North America. Whoever loses this, they're going home. They're out of the tournament. So very important match.
I want a game that goes away to 5. Straight
Yes.
up. I'm just going to
Yes.
throw that out there. We've gotten the 4 games on the last one. This is usually where the competition gets as stiff as possible. People are against their wall. They're doing their best here to earn their W's. Let's go all the way game number 5. Let's make those Americans proud as we head into Infernal Shrine. The salute comes in, guys. It is time to start game number 1. Infernal Shrine, 30K, taking on Diamond Hands.
Ooh, ooh, ooh! We got it on the right. In the red, we've got Diamond Hands. We got Hebi on the Deckard Cain. We got Nintori playing the Haka. We got Maka on his trademark Sylvanas. Caesar Salad playing Johanna. And yeah, boy, playing the Haga.
On the far left in the blue, another North American team, the #1 seed coming out of NA. It is going to be Cure playing Malfiel, Medora on Tychus, Liam on Blaze, Legacy on Lucio, and Cattle on a Nubarak. Infernal Shrines will be our battleground, and it looks like there's going to be a bit of a 4-1 setup as we already have Blaze heading the top lane, which means there's not going to be too much of a disruption, but hang on. A quick little pause.
Is this the 30K special?
A slight screen issue.
Kinda,
you tell me. You're the 30K analysis. You got this.
Literally, Nintori in all chat said the 30K pause, let's go. I don't want to call it a patent 30K tactical pause strat, but, you know, it might be. It might be. Yeah, I don't know. Cure very particular, all right? Which, as you have to be.
I'm just staring in your eyes as you're trying to sell this to the
As
crowd.
I'm trying
It
to-
might be,
it
guys.
might be.
I don't have any proof, but it could be.
It could be. I don't know. Just kind of add some memes. Oh, wait.
Yeah, look at the very top lane. So Liam kind of assumed that there will be a Sylvanas potential push for a tower.
Smart.
We've been seeing it in the bottom side a lot of the times here, but Diamond Hands went through the top lane, and Liam was there to disrupt that. Oh, same time, though, Hogger getting low, able to spin out just in time as Yeah Boy is able to survive.
It's fine. We got some pre-pots down, you know. Heavy predicting. He's like, you know what? I know my Hogger's going to at least int a little bit, so let me get some potions down.
A lot of testing here already. A Nubarak in the bush. I think it's going to be a common theme. Whenever you do scrim against a lot of teams that you play against, you understand their patterns, their rhythms. Like the human brain, not to get into science too much,
let's get into it.
The human brain identifies patterns. One of the coolest things about us being humans, right? So if you can utilize that and try to get an edge over your opponent, it's going to happen. Here's where it gets really freaking cool. Where you understand the meta of your opponent and how they want to go for their rotations, that you out-rotate them. Ooh. It's all about the mind games. The Cattle goes in for a big knock-up. Caesar taking some damage, and 30K will find the first kill. Medora getting low on HP, but shelling away on the damage.
Yo, easy clap. You know, we'll trade a little bit of HP for Caesar's. Okay, they're chanting USA, which we love, but like, which team are they chanting for? You
let
know,
them say
no
it,
one
man.
tell them that both teams are from USA. I guess
It's their
Maka's
favorite
a
3
Canadian.
letters. You know what I'm saying? Just gonna throw them out.
True,
there.
true. But yeah, I mean, pretty standard early game so far is in favor of 30K since they were able to get that kill. But definitely, you know, it's really going to come down to this first shrine phases. We're going to get another pause coming out from the side of Diamond Hands. Looks like we have a little bit of a mouse issue. You know, this is the first time on stage for both of these teams. You know, at least a little bit. This is a very important series. You know, we banter, we joke about it, the pauses, but, you know, as a pro player, you 100% should pause if you're having any sort of issues.
I mean, if anybody at home, I mean, everyone that plays video games has got to this record. If you ever just don't have your controller or your keyboard feels a couple inches off, it's dismantling to your brain. You feel like you can't play the game. And there is a bit of a mouse issue that's currently happening right now, which is being resolved. And as Legacy said to Nintori and crew, we all get one pause, so they're totally cool with it as well. We want to make sure our players are in the utmost setup to deliver the best game possible, so we're not going to hate on them anyway.
All right, so there's games happening, but Tim, how's life been? You know, like how's life?
I think life, you know, it goes. There's ups and downs, just like anything. I think currently I'm on an upswing. You know, so you know, if you want to chill and relax and have fun conversations, we can do that. You know,
is that like upswing? Tim is chill, relaxed conversation.
Usually I see that tournaments do this for me. I go to a tournament, upswing up. I'm like, oh, there are people that enjoy video games too. This is really cool. And then
do you
I go
feel like
home
there's a
to isolation.
downswing after?
Yeah, there really is. Especially if I like jump on that ability to jump in a Storm Link right away. So I'm going to try my best to skip that part.
Right to some rank to destroy the mental. We love that.
All right, it looks like we're heading right back into the match here, and I'm not going to leave you hanging, man. How's life going for you?
You know, like you said, ups and downs.
Yeah.
You know, I think I'm on a little bit of an upswing right now, too. Had a lot of travel the last couple of weeks, so I'm really excited to, you know, sleep in my own bed. But as a whole, been doing pretty good.
Ultimately, I'm glad that you kept your energy, though, man. Like, it's been a couple of years, and you're still the same person. You got a haircut. cut,
I
but you're
appreciate
still
it.
living. You know?
I know. I got the short hair. I've returned. It's like the whole Udall arc. I went to the long hair. Was a little bit of hippie for a second. Still kind of am, but now I just got short hair hippie, so I don't look the part.
Well,
so,
you get the proper amount of hipster. You're like, this is the portion that I like about it, and then you pull that, and then you bring it all together, and you become a person. It's just math.
I feel like that's what life's all about. Diluting the parts of certain. Okay, actually, I don't know.
They're about to dilute the map as we transition with some siege camps here.
Yes.
As crews are setting up for the top lane push. Now, this should go in favor of the globals, as Dahaka is usually going to be able to stay up there just a little bit longer. And then he actually will be able to rotate quite swiftly down to the middle portion of the map where the first shrine will be activating. Liam is doing his best here to disrupt that, though, by trying to chip him out and use that essence.
Yeah, I mean, a little unfortunate for the Dahaka. He ideally would want to be in the bot lane. But you also really want Hogger. You see Diamond Hands, they're immediately getting set up on the shrine. You want to create space for Hogger. As you're going to see, yeah, boy, he's going to try and set up basically the perfect angle. And now it's just like, very threatening. But you see Kiri, he's in a good spot here. He's just chunking the Hogger out. So eventually going to have to stop the spin. As you see Cattle, as well as the rest of 30K in position to follow up. As Hogger here, yeah, boy, going to be able to escape. Good heals coming out from Heavy.
Also, look at the big block that we had there in the top right corner. It made it hard for Blaze and crew, those big, beefy characters, to move on through. So it made it hard for them to land up there. So great control overall. 18-12 when it comes to controlling these shrines. 22-12, and the numbers continue to climb. Diamond Hand starting to rotate over as they went to fight back. Malphite at the same time took over top lane and got that pressure in. 30K looking strong on the macro.
Yeah, getting a lot of value in here as it looks like shrines are going to be 28-24, so very, very close here. Cattle's low, but they're all inning on Maka here. The Sylvan is falling very, very low. Heavy barely dropping a potion right after Maka has fallen, and this is going to be the first Punisher. This is going to be the momentum swinging with 30K.
Yep, it's going to be a Blizzard Punisher as well. So, excuse me, is that a Mortar? We'll see here in a second. It is a Mortar, just kidding, which is probably considered the weakest of all the Punishers. It can still get some deadly damage, but the wall is pretty much the main focus. Unless they can find a kill here, Kato goes in, they break down the wall, so they have an escape route. The Triangle of Death comes out from Heavy, and we have a Punisher about to jump in a few seconds.
Yeah, all right, you're talking about a Motor Punisher. Nothing's going to happen a little too crazy right here. Okay, actually, I take it back as looks like the jump is going to go out. Would expect this to just be a wall and then 30K back off. All right, Tim, we got a little bit of downtime. You said Mortar Punisher. If you could be air, fire, earth, or waterbender, what would you be?
Wow, you went straight to the waterbenders, man. Waterbender, I think. I like the way they move. It's just elegant in a way, Because, even after you get done with your bending career and whatever you want to pull off, you can then become a dancer.
Dang, you're thinking about, post-bending career retirement.
I think that's, the most important thing to ever think about is, everything that you do nowadays, what does it do to achieve a goal in the future?
True.
We're getting up there, mortality, etc. Things that need to be thought about. What about you?
I think air would be pretty cool. I'd like to fly around on one of those little air balls like Aang does.
Sure. And Earthbender would be cool too because you would have abs. I just feel like the Firebender.
Is that like a prereq as an Earthbender? You just immediately get an 8-pack?
They're all so ripped, man. We do have another camp on the far left getting grabbed here. Let's get some pressure in the middle of the map. And as we build towards that level 10, 30K is about to hit it here. They're going to go fourth bender themselves.
Yeah, Cattle burrowing forward, looking to force with that level 10 advantage. The question is, do they want this for? I like 30K looking for this opportunity. Madara just popped that Odin, baby. You can hear me and you do it. This is going to be a good force coming out from 30K. They have the level 10 advantage, so Diamond Hands, they need to be careful. If they overextend here, they could get gone on. They could get wrecked. In the backline, though, Nintori does have a pretty good flank here. They're looking at Legacy.
Lucio.
They get the tongue. Lucio.
Oh, my gosh.
V9. It doesn't matter as that's the healer for 30K falling.
And as said by Turkey, it doesn't matter if they have an advantage. If you have a number advantage, you move in 5v4. You master player. Nintori and crew are able to clear it all up, and they stop that push from coming in. Diamond Hands are here to hold their own 2-1 in kills.
Yeah, that mid 4 is pretty low, though. So definitely 30K, they're not happy with how it went, but they're not depressed with how it went. It's we could have done better. That's a VOD reviewer for sure. But next shrine should be spawning in the next 30 seconds to a minute, and that's going to be a very important shrine fight for the pacing of this game. Whoever wins that one is really going to be leading, the race to 13, the race to 16, and really be taking a large momentum, shift heading into the late game.
Yeah, I'm watching Dahaka. At this point, you should start rotating down to the bottom portion of the map. You want to make sure your global's extending on the other side of the map. He's going to grab this siege camp first, but we should see him start to snake his way to the bottom lane and attempt to try to get some pressure down there and try to squeeze out some experience. Because right now, 30K is slightly ahead as due to grabbing those turrets and, of course, being on top of these Merc camps.
Yeah. As it looks like Cure maybe needs to be a little... Okay, no, he already cleared out the
knows.
wave. I was nervous for him for a second.
He's got that extra movement speed. I think he picked it up at level 1.
Yeah, the level 1, the Fear the Reaper, and he
Fear the
just
Reaper.
activated it. I mean, it's a 25-second cooldown, so we'll be back up here for the Punisher. Looks like it's going to be an even talent tier fight. 30K barely winning the race to 13, but I don't think they're actually going to be able to soak it out.
No.
I mean, we could see Liam go for that, but
Like
I'd be
halfway
very
through, I think.
surprised. Yeah, I'd be very surprised if they're actually able to make it in time. Would expect them to just group up on the shrine.
There
as
it
it
is,
looks
the web.
like Cocoon's coming out, Tim.
Maka is able to walk over, get some auto attacks, try to get Decker Kane out there, and he's doing just fine. Now, do look at the heroic. It's stay a while, listen for Decker Kane, not Lord NATO, which can be great in chokes, and you want to try to utilize it after a Nubrak has used his full charge and a grenade's been used. It's going to be hard, but Heavy can definitely do it. He steps up, holding that type right corner. The potions continue to come in, and Caesar Sal was able to manage the wave advantage. However, look at the Shrine, 19-2.
Yeah, Cure able to get a really big lead there on the Malthael, but position advantage is now going in favor of Diamond Hands. But Liam with the double stun, able to activate the bunker as well. Falling sword. Cure falling low. A big stay a while and listen. Isn't going to be enough though, as 30K is all able to walk out here. And with that, they now have position advantage. They have the race to 13, and they're winning the Shrine.
Heavy and crew open up the Berenstein Bears, but it just wasn't enough. 24-6. That 13 is about to connect, and we mentioned it. The 13 would take a while to get here, but we're about to have that actually for 30K. Notoria and crew decided, all right, maybe we just give this up. We have Johanna. We can bait this under a tower. It's still early. It's sub 9 minutes. The Punisher isn't too powerful. Worst case scenario, we lose our fort. Let's try and go on the other side of the map and try to offload there.
Yeah, I would really like to see 30K try and turn this into 2 forts. If they can get this top 4 and then rotate towards mid, could be, you know, really good for their pacing. As we see Cattle here actually getting a stun.
Maka.
Liam with the follow-up. Maka, knowing his timings, able to actually get out, and that's a very good trade for Maka. You see Cattle very low as well. Caesar Salad able to falling sword out. Didn't have the unstoppable, as Cocoon is going to be on Maka as well. Madara with the Odin. You have Hogger flanking on over though. A good follow-up stun from Liam.
No way.
Maka,
No way.
is he
Potion.
actually going to do it? He escapes.
Shout out to Heavy getting the potion there in the middle of the air, grabbed by Sylvanas, but with it all said and done, even though Diamond Hands did survive there, that was definitely still a massive win for 30K. They got the fort, the Punisher is already working on the wall, and they're coming in the middle. Notori trying to get away.
Able to escape. Hogger still in the top side, so it is a 4v5 here. Maka falling relatively low, but a
big
good
potions.
trade. Yeah, big potions. I
Big
like this from
potions.
Heavy. I mean, Maka really is the only kill target for them, and you know, really knows his limits on the Sylvanas, and they're not able to actually secure the second fort. So I think if you're Diamond Hands, you know, it stinks to lose a fort, but it could have been a lot worse.
We are moving towards these later stages. We built up 16, a slight moment to take a breath for everyone here as the camps start to pop up once again. The next shrine will be up in a few minutes, and that'll be the major target. For now, getting to 16 is a priority for both of our teams. I'm looking at Notoria already. He's working that bottom side. Hogger on the top right as well. I really do kind of like this double offlane pressure. I worry about it in the late game as things start to get to more power spikes, level 20s come online and whatnot, but it does let you stay in the game and not get to a point where you fall behind experience-wise.
Yeah, I actually think their level 20 spike is pretty powerful with Caesar Salad going for the falling sword, getting the CDR as well as the Dahaka isolation. So I think level 20, you know, it's pretty solid for 30K as well. You know, revive for Malthael, you know, upgraded Odin. So it's not terrible, but as it looks like Hogger here actually falling very, very low. Going to be forced to Horde to pull over the wall, able to survive as the Cocoon does come out under Caesar Salad, still has falling sword, so he's going to be okay. But Cure doing a good amount of damage, sidestepping as well. That's why they call him the sidestep king. Cure. Okay, I mean, I got pretty high, but nothing actually happened. I was just like, you know, I thought,
he tiptoes to the right. He's the king!
To the right, to the left.
Well, he did sidestep, and it was very impressive. It's okay. Bring that high. It's fine. We're about to the 16, though, as it's getting picked up here by Kier. And that bottom four is now seeming to be the target. Beetle's already spawning here to help out with that push, trying to draw a reaction. Already jumping into a bush. Sal will be the focus. Get propulsion to a full combo. Last right. Oh, my God.
I blinked.
Have you seen a Johanna be deleted that fast?
I have not. I have not. I don't even think he was able to get off his unstoppable. And immediately from 30K, they're just going to use that to hit the fort. I like this, recognizing they're not in position. They do not have that Johanna. And, you know, with the next objective, with the next shrine spawning mid, that is a really big take. And they're going to take away the Bruiser camp as well. Love the aggression from 30K. I know it's a little bit of cantaloupe right now, but excellent play coming out from the boys.
I mean, I completely agree here as well. You know, 30K came in this morning prepared to earn their W's. They were a little bit upset about their losses. Maybe more than a little bit upset. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in their brain. But they did mention, they were like, we got this. we can win this. We know we're a good team. It's nice to see that other teams are mortal here, and that kind of hypes us up a little bit. And right now, they have it on full display. They are logged into the Matrix right now, and they are looking for W's.
Dodging bullets left and right. I mean, Cure was, you know what
He
I'm
was
saying?
sidestepping bullets! Oh, cantaloupe! Do have Zuzella moving in for another condemn, looking for that back Ryan. Wants to try and grab Lucio, and if he had a Buster Shield, maybe you lock him down there. But with the falling sword, that play is suddenly not available.
Yeah. Next shrine going to be spawning in about 15 seconds. You see Liam on the minimap is going to be taking out the Bruiser camp, so going to have Bruiser camp advantage for the side of 30K in the top side. Do have Tahaka, you know, near that area, so would expect him to be able to clear it up. But this shrine, this is going to be so important. If 30K gets hit, they should be able to get a, you know, a lot of damage onto this keep.
If you're Diamond Hands, it doesn't look like Cure's kind of holding that front line, and while he is sidestepping, it also takes one drag. You follow that up with an isolation or a mind control, you can delete Malthael pretty darn quickly. It's just a matter of trying to lock him down because he is slippery. Mind control comes out, will hit Odin, pulls him back just a little bit, but Legacy's able to move up and keep him alive.
Yeah, during all of this, though, 30K able to get a little lead onto the shrine, and Tori and Maka looking to come in here. Tongue not going to connect. Cure falling very low, though.
There it is, isolation!
Legacy not going to be able to keep him alive. Falling Sword's going to come out. Cocoon as well. Cattle in a very scary situation. That looks like a dead bug to me, getting stomped out by the hands of Diamonds, as it looks like Lucio Legacy the last to fall, and that is a very favorable win for the side of Diamond Hands.
Diamond Hands getting a massive W here, taking a 3 of 30K, and they will have a massive Punisher to push in the middle lane. Then Tori instantly realizing, okay, we have the W, pulls all the way back and gets that top lane, has to babysit. Now the question is, how much can Diamond Hands get as they push towards level 20 and attempt to siege the opponent buildings?
I think a lot, as they do have Sylvanas, you know, known for the pushing power. You see Maka already disabling the fort. The Punisher is going to be basically 100%. You know, maybe we'll get a nade or two on it as it's approaching this keep wall, as it's approaching the keep, and they're looking to split out Soak with this. They want level 20, as you see, you know, Hogger in the bot side. Oh, actually, Liam needs to be careful. They're looking to maybe dive behind here. Madara is looking to set up for help. I mean, it's just the two of them. I think this is a bit of an overextension for Diamond Hands.
Heavy's got him pulling over. I mean, the good news is you pull away the attention completely of the opposing team on this bottom fort. You have Kira in the middle there. This is a 5v4 if they can land a drag or even get the full engagement they want. But so far, 30K identifies what they were trying to do, and I would say they shut that down pretty well.
Yeah, that was a great defense.
I was expecting at least half a keep damage, you know?
Yeah, I feel like they could have maybe pressured mid a bit harder, but, you know, it's all right. Opted to try and go for the fort, but a good response from 30K, and that means that both teams are going to be hitting 30K around the same time. So this is really just going to come down to a 20 versus 20, you know, team fight, which I think both teams do get a lot of, you know, good level 20 tools. Cattle actually burrowing forward here could be pretty scary. A good helping hand onto Cattle is going to allow him to escape. Caesar Salad still has Falling Sword, so should be fine here, but Hogger may be the one that they're looking to turn on.
Falling Sword comes out, pops out for the heal, stay a while, listen over the wall, hits 2, a web to hit on Dahaka as well. The triangle comes out to make sure that Tori can't escape. A few cooldowns traded there. This is a heart-beating match here between these two.
Yeah, well, I mean, what a way to start this series. I really hope we get a best of 5 between these two teams. I want as many, you know, USA games as we can get, you know, so we can get a little bit more crowd cheering going on. But I really am just thinking more about the 20s, because I actually think Sylvanas level 20 mind control upgrade is going to be very big. I mean, Isolation, Falling Sword, you know, Decker's level 20 is kind of okay, but Hortipole for, you know, the Hogger, the infinite spin, I think will be really powerful as well into the triple front line of 30K. So
do you think at 20, do we get the rejuvenating potions on Decker Kane to set up on the shrines? We're about to find out. Ooh, he went for Respect the Eldery. Stay a while, listen sounds, and blinds enemies for 3 seconds upon waking up from sleep.
Very good. I mean, imagine Liam throws down a bunker, a couple people get in it. That could be a really good response, as we may get a fight here around the Bruiser camp. Nintori looking for it, able to hit a big isolation onto 2, and Cure gets evaporated. Liam able to escape, so luckily Malthael does have the revive.
But using it now,
revive down.
Rough. Using it before the Shrine phase, that means it's on a pretty darn large cooldown, as you have to wait for that to come back up. So a wonderful trade, especially when you think about Johanna and Sylvanas. Their heroics are on low cooldowns right now. Johanna's ult's going to be up in 5 seconds. Looking over to Sylvanas, up in 15 seconds. A wonderful trade for them. No one can stop death. It's going to take some time here to come back up. 180 seconds.
That's a long cooldown, and I think Cure could have been more patient with it. I don't think he had to instantly click it. I mean, it is a little, an invade. Scratch that thought, Cure. You don't have this ult reset. You need to be a little careful. Is gonna. Oh, actually, Heavy here going for the flank.
Say
Gonna
what?
get a four-person. Oh, this is scary. This is disastrous. 30K off the back of Heavy's massive stay a while. And listen, it looks bad as Liam trying to escape. Is he gonna be able to get on out? That's two falling. Diamond Hands in the lead.
Isolation comes out to Notori once more. Another cleanse comes out from Mouthfield, so 3 will survive, but a massive advantage for Diamond Hands as they head to the bottom lane. The Shrine is activating, and it is theirs for the taking.
Yeah, that's going to be 100% the Shrine going the way of Diamond Hands. Luckily for 30K, if you are a 30K stan like myself, we got a fort down there, baby. It's not even that big of a deal.
It's all fine.
We are scaling. Who cares if we're level 20? You know, level 30 power spike. That's why they call this 30K. But yeah, definitely, jokes aside, Diamond Hands in a very powerful lead here. Definitely going to be looking at a keep, maybe even a kill. So what can I say?
Tychus does have that level 20 as well with Odin, which is very helpful at defending the Punisher. You do have to kind of get the pressure on top of that Sylvanas to avoid the Black Arrow, but very doable here. 17 seconds for Blaze to be back on the field with a bunker, by the way, and Lucio coming in. Already you see Kier trying to sidetrack their opponents, running straight to the middle lane, getting a lane, pushing down into their keep to start putting some damage on that wall.
Yeah, luckily they do have level 20 Odin, right? So they're going to have that big red button, going to have the extra cooldown on Odin. So we'll have a lot, you know, more defensive power there. But if this side of 30K, you know, if they lose 2 heroes, I think this is a game-ending push. So they have to be very conscious of their positioning. Nintori on the Dahaka, a good sidestep from Madara. If he got hit there, potentially was a GG situation, as it looks like Madara should just probably Odin up here, is going to go for it. Cure does have probably the level 20 back-off cooldown, so even if he does die, we'll be able to res as Diamond Hands is posturing for the core.
Perfect coordination, pulling that Punisher over to the middle, get a few more shots over there, and get some more damage on it. That keep, though, is getting absolutely obliterated. The Punisher continues to move forward. It does jump once again, landing on Liam. Here comes more engagements. Oh
wait,
my gosh, the left
Heavy,
right!
Heavy taken down. That's the heals. Nintori the next to follow. Oh, they're looking at Caesar Salad. No ultimate. This is looking like a dead Johanna. 30K turning it around. Double split team fight. We got a 2v2 on the side. We got Cure and Legacy trying to chase him down. Surely Caesar Salad is going to die. But what I'm curious about is, can they get the Sylvanas? Can they get the Hogger? And the answer is going to be no, but that's 3 in favor of 30K.
It's definitely a staggered death there. 3 down, 2 up for defense. Hogger and Sylvanas looking straight over to 30K. What is their play? They immediately run over to the camp. They want to start pushing out the middle lane that was prepped by Cure later on. They would love to open up this wall. I'm not sure if they can go for the full W here. Sylvanas' wave clear is pretty darn solid, but they can at least start to get towards that keep.
Yeah, I think it's a key play for sure. I don't know if Cattle has, you know, rewind up, but if he does, you know, could maybe enable a kill opportunity onto Maka Sylvanas.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something Maka has to be afraid of. Does have the Will of the Forsaken, so the Unstoppable, so can be a bit, you know, safe. But this should be a keep even up. We do have Deckard back up in 3 seconds to Haka in 4, so 30K can't overextend too hard, but definitely should be a keep for them. And we're going to have 1 keep to 1 keep, so very even game as we're 20 minutes into game number 1.
Back and forth. There goes the keep. 1 for 1 on each team, and 30K once more. They move up to the top right camp. They want to start attempting to put some pressure on this wall as well. And look where the Shrine currently is located. The middle of the map, Michael Udall.
Paid my man Dustin Browder for that one. You know, easy clap.
Shout out to DB.
Shout out to DB. I mean, that is a good sign for 30K, though.
Yeah.
If you get the Shrine at this point, now you're looking at a game-ending push. So really, we're getting down to the wire here. We're getting down to the final team fight or 2.
A slight breather here as both teams set up, trying to grab full wave control. Remember, waves are power. They give you knowledge. They give you information. They give you vision, which can tell you where your opponents are at. So everyone right now is currently trying to get that. It's currently in the favor of 30K, but Diamond Hands may be able to turn this around quickly enough. We've already seen the strength of their level 20s. It's all about getting that coordination off. The last time that we had a fight, Heavy was unable to get off his stay a while and listen. He had so much pressure underneath him that it would have been interrupted immediately. Expect him to adjust his positioning going to the next fight.
Yeah, and I think part of why that happened is because Diamond Hands was pressuring into the core, right?
Yeah.
So Heavy's kind of forced to step up a little bit. I think in these fights where it's much more front to back, I think it's way harder for the side of 30K to actually get in onto that Deckard, which I think they have to do. I think Heavy is just able to lay down, you know, too much CC, too much heal with these, you know, level 13 empowered potions. You know, that's like a fourth, if not like a third / a half of your health if you're Maka. So it's like, it's just so much heal, right? You're around a shrine and there's 5 potions you can run around. So I think 30K really needs to do what they're doing right now. You need to preemptively play on this shrine. You cannot let Diamond Hands get set up. You cannot let them lay down these potions. You need to take the fight to them before the shrine spawns.
I just love how you covered all your bases there. It's a third, a fourth, a fifth, a half of your health bar.
All of your health.
That's all your health. Looking over the stacks here for Tychus as well, at level 4, he has 110 stacks on in the
Them
rhythm
rookie
here.
numbers. Come on, Madar, you need to pick it up.
Get that higher, man. Shrine activating in 15 seconds, and this could be the final shrine. Both will be looking for a drag over the wall. It's not going to get too much. Immediately see Hogger going into his position here to bounce back and forth. Medora puts some damage on him. I love the positioning for 30K to handle with the Hogger.
Yeah, but look at that. I mean, Madara.
Potions. Look at it. Look at his timing. It turns right into a big potion. He gets it.
Yeah.
Over again. This is great. They've practiced this.
That's kind of OP, actually. I'm
That's
not going to
kinda
lie.
great.
Cure here, going to be forced to use the Unstoppable. Big red button coming out as well. You see Cattle flanking on the side, looking for Heavy, as Hogger actually falling pretty low here.
Last
Gonna
right?
get hit by the
Oh
last
my
right.
gosh.
That's it. Hogger is fallen. It's now at 4v5. Cattle views that as the opportunity to hard engage. A great isolation from Nintori to try and turn it around. The Cocoon is onto the Deckard. Cattle able to get the follow-up. 2 stuns onto Heavy. The stay a while and listen comes out, but it's too late as Diamond Hands have lost 3.
Oh my gosh. Mako took the potion that was going to go over to Hogger that was thrown down by Heavy, and it was just enough. A small potion is a reason why Diamond Hands is going to lose this map. 30K with the perfect pressure, and they run straight across the court. They don't even need a Punisher. They got 5 heroes, and here they go, burning down the shield. Can Notori and Maka handle this at all?
The defense of a lifetime. This is the final countdown for the boys as Nintori is going to get taken down. This is surely going to be a 30K win as 4 are dead. 30K taking game number 1, a very back and forth one, as Diamond has had a little bit of an overextension in the bottom side, but 30K played it beautifully, and that's going to be game number 1 of our best of 5 series going to 30K.
Wowzer, what a back and forth match between those 2 teams. Impressive to see Diamond Hands holding their own, showing that they are meant to be at this tournament, that they are supposed to be at this tournament, but 30K showing that experience and finding those small angles. Again, that fight came down to 1 potion. A potion was picked up by Maka, and I don't think he was like trying to steal away from his team or anything, but it was a big potion that Hogger actually needed because Tychus was able to get off his minigun on Hogger, get him down to half HP, and Kier was like, oh, that's a free kill. Throws out a last rise, he gets deleted immediately, and that was the end of the team fight.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that too was silent, Cattle having really good positioning, playing on the flank, forcing Heavy to play a bit further back.
Yeah.
Heavy recognizing, hey, the way we lose team fights is if I get gone on, if I can't throw those consistent heals out. So, a pretty good job from Cattle, I think, as well, positioning-wise, just to force Heavy to play Sked, force Heavy to play a little bit further back as we've got the American flag coming in, baby.
Would you look at that? Who's doing this? Oh my gosh, it's Khaldor holding it. Wait.
Wait.
Converting Khaldor?
Wait.
You can lean over. Look at this man. Fully committed to the NA versus NA. Love to see it. I got a question a little bit there. The Stay a While, listen, we saw it win 1 team fight. And
Yes.
usually it's going to do that in most scenarios. And then the opposing team usually wisens up and goes, okay, we have to respect that. And afterwards, it never happened again. Is that a scenario where Heavy can think about, hey, maybe we do go with Lordado in the future. It's much safer. You're in a position where you can kind of push around a lot of fights. Or do you just talk that up to, hey, the opposing team outplayed us?
I think it's an opposing team outplayed us, but also I think you're happy with the value you got from Stay a While and Listen. There was that one team fight where it completely turned it. That last team fight, right? Even though Heavy died, let's say he was able to get 1 potion off on himself before he laid that down, could have been completely game-turning, even though you had lost Hogger in the 4v5. So I think the Stay a While and Listen was pretty good, and I do think you got a pretty good amount of value from it. Just, unfortunately, wasn't able to lose it. But I wouldn't say that was the reason they lost.
Sure.
I don't even think if they have Lornado, it's necessarily an extremely amount better.
Sure. Absolutely something to consider. But what I do appreciate that is it did seem like these teams obviously know each other out. There was a few things in the early game that was designed to find a couple of picks, and it worked out for 30K. We saw a few moments where Caesar Salad was rotating down on a path that usually is pretty healthy, but he gets deleted, right? And that just comes down to knowing what your opponent wants to do and get an idea of the movement that they're going to flow through, especially on like the bush in the bottom right corner. I still can't believe Johanna was deleted that fast.
Yeah. I mean, that was just, good coordination coming out from 30K, recognizing where they think Caesar Salad's going to be and just preemptively being there. Both of these teams, I think, are pretty evenly matched. And at this point, they're fighting for who gets to continue representing North America for the rest of this tournament, right? Whichever team beats the other, I know the other one's going to be in the crowd cheering them on, right? Like, so, they both want to win, but I think there is a lot of love amongst the team here, really wanting North America just as a whole to do well, because I think Korea has looked very, very strong. We just saw their second seed take down the first seed from Europe. So, I think Korea is kind of the region to beat as of right now. I mean, I think Bangbush is also looking pretty strong. Nagram, shout out the boy. I feel like that player in particular, and he's not playing in our series, but the tank player for Bangbush, I mean, over the last year, I feel like where he was as a tank then to now, I think he's like a top 2, top 3 tank at this point. And the growth, it's so awesome this late into an esports scene to see, new players still coming in, and new players not only coming in, but like rising to the top. So
you need constant cycling. Like things get boring if you repeat the same players over and over again. You get stale, stagnant. You need new ideas and whatnot.
Yes.
So it would certainly be fun to watch that. And also the benefit for them as well, for Tempest and Bangbush, is they get to watch all of today's games.
Yep.
They get to study. They get to learn. And what we've seen from Friday to Saturday, even from teams like Diamond Hands, is if you put in the work and you spend your evenings intelligently looking at what your opponents can do, you can find the small nooks and crannies to exploit. So we're going to be seeing a lot of that going into tomorrow. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. It's time for game number 2. We are heading to Tomb of the Spider Queen, which has been a mainstay in North America. I feel like we get a lot of Tomb of the Spider Queen out here. And Diamond Hands in particular loves to adopt the old strategy that I think you used to run, or at least you did in a few games, where you just hold on to all your gems and try to go for massive turn-ins in the late game. I remember you having a game with like 140 gems.
Yeah, that sounds like us. I mean, generally that happens because you lose the rotation in the early game.
Yep.
So I don't know if it's a good strategy that we're known for that, but, we did int in the early game pretty consistently. So that does sound like the good old GFE. But yeah, Tomb of the Spider Queen is going to be the choice for 30K, I believe, as it was Diamond Hands that have first pick.
Yeah, so usually you see most teams pick first pick. We don't have the information whether or not they picked it, but that is a safe assumption here.
Safe assumption. But, I mean, generally, Tomb of the Spider Queen is a map where, Madara early into the esports scene, when I first met Madara in Storm League, I knew him as a Chromie one trick. Literally, he would always play Chromie and he'd always hit his Qs. And this is one of the best Chromie maps, I would just say, in the pool. And a lot of that comes down to the ability to zone the shrines, the pretty solid, safe wave clear you do get from the Chromie. So that's something that we maybe could see early on or maybe a bit later in the draft. A pretty powerful hero on this map specifically. But just as a general rule, mages are better on Tomb of the Spider Queen because they bring a lot of wave clear to the table.
But speaking of that wave clear, Johanna will be grabbed. That's usually a good indicator, especially in the meta nowadays. You might actually have that Chroma coming in there. And that's one thing that you can signify to your opponents. If you know that you have a strong player laying around that plays a character like that, you want to take away from them. And that once again happens here. Caesar Salad grabs the Johanna. Brightwing and Blaze will be the first and second pick for 30K.
I'm going to say draft if right now in favor of 30K.
Really? You think so?
Blaze, Brightwing? Oof. Oof. Those are both like... Brightwing we've seen pretty much like perma-banned in a bunch of series. Blaze, I think, has been getting out a lot of bans, a lot of first picks. I don't know if I think Johanna is worth giving both of those up. I think maybe taking, like, I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening. Anyone can still win the game, but I definitely think this just gives 30K so many tools, but also so much flexibility. Like, what are they doing with their draft? You don't know. They can go a lot of different directions. They can go dive. They can play front to back, but they've gotten like 2 S-tier picks and they're offlane and support. So I really like this opening for them so far.
Sure.
And this is another point. In the last game, I feel like if Caesar Salad maybe had that Blessed Shield, it could have been pretty good for them. Like, he did get a lot of value out of the brain. Falling Sword.
Gotcha.
But I feel like they were lacking some CC.
I mean, the Falling Sword was more of a, it seemed like more of a team pick. It was like, all right, I believe in Heavy. The Sail is going to hit it. I'm going to get a 2-3 main value out of this. And if that works out, we're going to run them over.
Yeah, but
and
it's like you're looking for the Stay a While and Listen as your setup.
I agree.
Like, imagine a Blessed Shield into a Stay a While and Listen. So, with the Yrel, they do have more CC, more maybe engage tools. So I think you could get away with the Falling Sword. But yeah, I just, as I was pondering more, I think maybe the Blessed Shield could have been, instead of that Stay a While and Listen into Lornado, I think if they would have had, Blessed Shield over the Falling Sword, that would have been a much better ultimate.
I enjoy Blessed Shield over a Brightwing, with a Brightwing being on the opposite side too, because there's a good chance that she links It'll and you try to get her as well, right? And it makes it a little bit harder for her to land that cleanse, clear the thing out. A new Bracken Chromie does come out, so as called by you. And to follow up on the Chromie, it is very, very clear to me that 30K has worked together on this character. There are points where Madara is like, hey, Legacy, run on top of my time trap. bait this. And he does. He'll run out, and he'll set a position and be like, look, I'm a juicy support. Please come kill me. And then time trap comes up, people are committed, and they turn the fight around. That is something that can only be built in a team that trusts each other, right? Like putting your life on the line to earn a W, and that's going to happen a lot in this series.
There's also some NT time traps yesterday.
It happens,
when I was hanging out with the boys, there was some light flame, you know, some gentle, some friendly, you're my teammate, I like you, but what the hell were you doing type flame, you know? It was like, hey, I was trying to ancestral you and you time trapped me. What was that, man?
I mean, if there's not any flame, do you even care?
It's
right?
true.
Like,
it's
I think
true.
a lot of people like, look at
of
flame
passion.
and they're like, are you toxic? It's like, no, I just care.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we can learn to have a dialogue, but like, communication is important for wins.
Yeah.
That's just how it is when it comes to things.
No, we were talking about that yesterday. It was like Yumi and Fan, chitty chatting, and you know, passion. So let's walk away from video games. You know, Michael Jordan, considered to be by many the best, if not, you know, top 2, top 3 basketball player of all time. You know, I think most people put him in that #1 category. Was notorious as kind of an asshole to work with, right? As someone that was difficult to work with because of
that personally.
Yeah, exactly. Of like I take it personally. Like I have these really high expectations of you, and that comes from just like this deep desire to want to win at all costs more than anyone else. And so
you need an edge sometimes to like motivate you, right? Some kind of chip on your shoulder. I feel like we're getting really far away from.
Yeah, dude.
But I agree with everything you say. I feel like this is something that we should talk about in the future at some point, maybe on a different location. But I agree with you. The locations are important, and that's why this team is good because they care about mistakes. They look at each other and say, "You screwed up. How do we fix this?"
Yes.
You know, right? And they'll do it back to each other, vice versa. And that's an important thing that everyone should try to adopt in competitive games. Here we go, straight into Spider Queen game number 2. There was Lunara picked up, by the way. We'll talk more about that as we move into the draft.
As we got on the right, in the red, Diamond Hands currently down 1 game, trying to claw it back versus 30K. We got, speaking of Lunara, speaking of Bambi, we got Maka playing the Lunari, Heavy on the Anduin, Caesar Salad running it back on the Johanna, Nintori on the Urel, and yeah, boy, playing the Hanzo.
I don't think I've casted a game with Lunara yet in this tournament, so I'm excited for this. It looks like they're going to try and pressure out this person. Legacy playing Brightwing, Cattle on a Nubarak, Liam on Blaze, Badora on Chromie, and Genji played by Cure, which is a staple for Cure. But I want to highlight this Lunara real quick. Do we see a situation where they're just trying to stress out the Brightwing and make it really difficult for her to provide heals?
I think a little bit. I also think they felt a little choked when it came to DPS. I think they were not really sure what to pick. I actually think we might see a Leaping Strike here. I think it's probably pretty good into the Genji. Oh, as it looks like Urel here definitely going to be the first falling Nintori. You know, we all get one. We all get one. We all get one.
Especially in the early game. Because
Yeah,
like in the early game, you're used to like
you're
clearing
like a
waves,
minion.
middle.
It's fine.
Yeah. So like how the waves work for those that don't play Heroes of the Storm is the first waves that clash is the middle wave, and then the additional side lanes will come in a few seconds later on. So you usually have your off laners rotate afterwards if you want to get that priority in the mid lane. Oh my gosh, yeah, boy, taking some damage there from
Caesar too.
And so they picked up and they got Notori. My gosh, they're all just like practically dead.
Heavy's like, boys, I need you to sidestep. But yeah, I mean, looking at the damage, I kind of feel like the Lunara, the more I think about it, is going to be going Leaping Strike. You're going to have the Genji coming in, and I think, you know, Lunara with Leaping Strike is actually a pretty good matchup into that, where you have a lot of survivability, and also if Genji overextends a little bit, you can, you know, punish them. Well, also the Chromie, right? If your team is able to, you know, maybe you have a Urel knockback, maybe you have a Blessed Shield, you'll have a lot of, you know, follow-up burst damage. And I also think Lunara has pretty good wave clear.
And I think that actually bolstered out just to help out with your point with Heavy being on Anduin. If she goes a little bit too far, yoink, you just bring her on back and you're good to go.
Yeah, and what I'll be curious is, I think we'll probably see a Light Bomb, which will be pretty good on if they do go Falling Sword again, if they do have the Urel. I mean, potentially even the Lunara jumping in. I think that's maybe a bit more of a stretch, but...
A lot more difficult.
Yeah, a lot more difficult because, you know, you could just jump in and insta-die, which sometimes does happen. But yeah, I think, you know, they have decent dive tools to follow up with the Dragon Arrow. You know, Leaping Strike, Urel going in, you know, Falling Sword. So I definitely think Diamond Hands has some tools to get onto this Chromie. But if they do opt for the Blessed Shield, I think they can blow up frontline as well. So Cattle will have to be careful of his positioning.
I do like that they're attempting to bully out Notori a little bit here on the second map. They are in the bottom lane. We saw the kill earlier, but they immediately after getting the Night Camp, you saw Kier beeline straight to the Giants in the bottom lane. They want to make sure that Notori is unable to do what he does. When it comes to Diamond Hands and watching the qualifiers, it was very, very clear. They are okay with saying, Notori, do your thing. Look at the damage, though. Stack it up as Legacy is forced to pull back and tap. Some decent damage coming in from Maka and crew. And they have a huge Night Camp to push in the middle lane.
Yeah, they're pressuring pretty hard in the middle lane here, but in exchange, 30K getting a tower basically on the bot side with those siege camps, as Cure is going to come in and help clear it up. Liam as well. But I think pretty even trade as far as tower damage goes. During all of that, Hanzo was also able to pressure top side a little bit. So, you know, going to be pretty even trade. Knights in mid for Diamond Hands, Siege Camp in bottom for 30K. Both teams just going to be posturing, kind of be rotating, going to be looking for an opportunity to drop some of these gems in. And, okay, I just thought of another thing with Lunara. The Wisp. The Wisp is so powerful on this map, providing that, you know, vision of the turn-in, which, you know, in theory should allow you to have a lot more control over the turn-ins and to stall the opposing team.
Big note here, as we haven't seen too much Lunara. Siphon and Toxin picked up at level 4, looking for a little bit more sustain. If you can keep your seed spread out amongst many enemies, you can keep that healing coming in, which is great against poke that might be coming your way. You're going to get hit by Chromie at some point, so having that spread is a wonderful pickup. Heavy shows up and is going to be able to help out Nintori, who was taking some pressure. Kier goes for a chase, but he's also getting chunked out himself.
Yeah, Kier very, very low here. Needs to be careful. Gonna get blinded.
Flashlight?
Able to survive, but, you know, Cure has to reset. Chromie as well was forced to reset. This is an opportunity for Diamond Hands to, you know, get a turn in, or at the very least drop a lot of their gems, as 30K has been pushed off the rotation.
And the win dropping off 4. Disrupted slightly there. Can't drop his 4, but 13 do come in for Caesar Salad. I do like Diamond Hands trying to get these turn-ins earlier. The couple of matches that we've seen them on 2 minutes Spider Queen, they've had a hard time getting their turn-in. Boom, Adora's low on HP. Brightwing comes in with the phase shift. It will be a save. Polymorph on Maka to stop that DPS. Caesar Salad holding the front line. And Legacy is there for his teammate once again.
Yeah, Legacy's like, I got you, fam.
I got you.
Puts his hand down as they're falling off the cliff. I got you. As, you know, Cure here once again. Annoying Nintori.
That's side laners, right? Like, the moment Giddy's in there, you're just like, all right, this is my life now. Constantly auto attack.
The worst is when you're playing ranked though, and you actually have that happen. You're playing offlane, and it's like a constant 2v1, and your
like,
team's also losing. Wait, we got a loop.
Temporal loop coming in. It is going to be on the back line. Hanzo taking some damage, gets pulled in by Heavy. A little bit late on that, but he still gets the heal. Same time, Cat on the opposing side has to walk away. Tori shows up, has a knockback in a few seconds, will be able to go for it. It decides to go ahead and back away as many are low on mana and health. Hey, Time Trap comes out. Medora trying to focus him, and that is going to be a pick.
This looks like 30K with that pick should be able to get the turn in, as you see immediately Cattle and Liam looking to drop their gens. Is Maka going to be able to get the stall? I don't think so. This is going to be the first Web Weaver phase going to the side of 30K. But interesting to know, I really thought 30K was going to go slowing Sands, but, you know, with the loop, just because they have the Anduin, right? They have like a lot of tools to save. But yeah, this should, you know, at least provide a lot of pick potential.
It feels like Temporal Loop is being utilized as a way to burn out those cleanses or those saving maneuvers. We've been seeing it a few times. We actually got it earlier from Cobium as they were trying to force it, and it worked in some regards. The issue is you got to make sure you have a little bit more damage to come in. That's what Kier is here for, that Genji. Another knockup comes in. Locking down Yaboy. Hanzo drops out, and man, the health bars just get depleted really fast, and suddenly the damage just stops. That's kind of how Chromie is. She goes for that blue up nuke and see if they can get there. Oh, Kier going in. The sidestep by both Heavy and Yaboy holding it there. Kier trying to retreat. Does he have any cooldowns? Yes, he will be able to E away, but still the Web Weaver's push.
Yeah, that's a lot used for pretty much nothing, though. I mean, Kier just trying to pressuring off, trying to be able to get the turn-in pressure. But, you know, with the level 10 advantage, all they get is 3 walls with their first Web Weaver phase. I would say pretty lackluster for the side of 30K, considering you had level 10, right? Like, ideally, you should be able to dive anyone under a fort. You should be able to get a full fort off that. So a great defense so far coming out of Diamond Hands. And as far as ults go, we got Light Bomb, we got Dragon Arrow, Leaping Strike, Blessed Shield, and Ardent Defender. So, you know, I like this Blessed Shield adaptation from Caesar Salad.
A lot of CC. Got to make sure that Legacy is getting his work cut out of him. That's for sure. Gonna have to handle the Blessed Shield. I am kind of curious if they're going to be able to get this Light Bomb off. Yrel should be able to do that quite freely. But remember, we do have Bunker. Liam has been pretty on point on saving his teammates. Things like that will be in a spot where Diamond Hands has to make sure their layered aggression is darn near pixel perfect.
Yeah. With level 11, too, Chromie going to pick up Ice Block, so a very, very nice, you know, buff for them. I mean, it's called Timeout technically, but empowered Ice Block.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No one's going to crucify you here. Yeah, it's all good.
That's what you say. Oh, Cattle, though, falling very low. The Light Bomb comes out, as well as the Bunker. Hanzo going to be the one that they're looking for. Madara not going to be able to finish them off, as Yaboy able to escape.
But Heavy taking some pressure. Caesar Salad steps up to help him. Chromie bringing out the damage. X-Right comes in. Heavy low on HP. Heavy trying to heal, but Anduin does not have that much burst healing. That's going to be a pick, and maybe a second as Caesar goes down. Night Camp pushing in the middle, and there is a turn-in available for 30K.
Yeah, and this turn-in should get way, way more as they have the Night pressure as well. I think they're actually just letting it get full cleared, which is a bit unfortunate, but just opting to get the full turn-in. And with this, you know, the bottom fort's pretty low. The mid fort is relatively well. They have their waves in a really good, position. This could be a 3-fort, victory for the side of 30K, and they're about to hit 13 as well. So Diamond Hands has to be careful because this game could get blown wide open.
Yeah, certainly so. With all those walls being down in particular, too, those web weavers will creep up on you really, really quickly. Looking in terms of defense, you have Hanzo and Johan on the top lane. It's probably their fastest wave clear. Lenara will be helpful as well, as she will be attempting to handle that mid lane. But let's see how 30K intends to move forward. It's going to be a 1-3-1 rotation. Genji on the bottom and Blaze as well, both with survivability and annoyance. Kier actually just standing underneath the fort and auto-attacking it.
Ninturi needs to be really careful. If a Nubrak starts rotating down, you have Brightening as well. This fort's going to be dead. That's 37 gems. Cattle could look to Cocoon if the ult's been popped. Is he going to go for it? Oh, Burrow not going to connect, and we're barely able to escape. But that could have been disastrous if they lose those gems there.
I like the layer of even adding the Hanzo arrow. It's a low cooldown. It's about 70 seconds. So if you can try to get a lock on a target, they could maybe turn that around. But also it ensures that you keep Notoria alive with all those gems.
Yeah.
So good heads-up play there.
And 30K walking up to the top fort, want to get the third fort here, but not going to actually be able to do it. Yrel is still bottom, so it is a 4v5, but they are missing some ults on the side of 30K as Boy on the Hanzo, taking a decent amount of damage. Actually, pull going to be used by Heavy onto Caesar, just preemptively wanting to stop some damage. But, as a whole, solid defense from Diamond Hands. Don't lose Yrel, don't lose anyone, and, lose the mid and bottom fort. And bottom fort was going to die pretty much no matter what. And in exchange, they get the turn-in pretty much instantly. So this is Diamond Hands' window. This is their chance. They need to chain at least 2, maybe 3 turn-ins, and they need to get a lot of structure damage here.
Speed of the Pious getting picked up for Anduin at level 13, looking at that Divine Star, hitting multiple of his teammates, and that gets a cooldown reduction coming in. So that really helps out with that Chromie poke that's coming forward. And suddenly this composition from Diamond Hands is looking like they handle it. Blessed Shield comes out. There's a Condemn. Cure hasn't used it to deflect quite yet. Lenara taking the damage. Maka unable to survive there as the Light Bomb does not go off. A web on Anduin instantly, and the damage is missing. Hanzo trying his best, but that's a 2-man team wipe. 3 picked off. Ninturi trying to retreat, grabbing some gems, taking some more pressure as well, and it looks like he will survive. But that is a massive cleanup for 30K.
Yeah, and this should let them clear out the turn-in completely. Luckily, Yrel was able to escape with their life, so it's going to be a lot of their gems still secured. But this was Diamond Hands' window. They needed to be able to, pressure hard here. They needed to force a fight and actually win it before 30K at 16, because now 30K is going to get 16. They're going to be able to get another turn-in, and they're going to be knocking on your keep walls. They're going to be knocking on your keep door. And if, this is a scary spot for Diamond Hands.
Knock, knock. The Grim Reaper is here. 16 about to connect for 30K. They are looking to just close this one out, and it's actually really, really important for them to have a decisive victory here, because if you head into game number 3, that momentum can carry you through and give you a solid 3-0. Diamond Hands, I would love for them to try and dig deep here and even secure a kill, get a nice couple of kills, because right now it's 6-0, and they are hurting.
Yeah, and it was so close. They almost kept Maka alive. He's able to just get, one leaping strike off, would have survived. And during all this, 16 hit, 30K starting up the boss here. It doesn't look like Diamond Hands actually know. They're just opting for the turn-in. So they're going to trade turn-in for boss. Maybe they do know, and maybe they just decide, hey, we'd rather just, give you the boss and in exchange get a turn-in for ourselves. But this is actually a bit unfortunate. From a macro perspective, they just spent all their gems, and their Web Weaver Fave is going to get nothing, because they're going to be forced to clear out the top boss, and 30K is basically just going to take this time clearing, and once the boss is finished up, they're just going to say, hey, we're going to go for a turn-in because you don't even have gems.
I think it was actually a very intelligent play, just because they haven't been able to manage a team fight here. And 16 is actually a big power spike for them and puts them on even footing. So if you can buy time, and even if it does come at the cost of the map objective, it gives you time to get to that 16 as safely as possible so you can have a chance to come for the fight. Imagine if they were unable to do that. A turn-in happens for 30K. That's suddenly a boss, 3 web weavers, and potentially kills where you lose gems, and at that point, it's lights out.
Yeah, very true. But at this point, Diamond Hands going to need to try and soak up 16 very quickly, because they need to force I don't think you can really give 30K another turn in, but you might have to, right? If you don't hit 16, you might just have to do it. You might just have to play the defense. You have the Lunara, you have the Hanzo.
You have wave clear.
Yeah, your wave clear is pretty good, especially with the explosive arrows coming out from Hanzo on level 4. We'll probably pair that up with Pierce at 16. So, it's not the worst, but you see 30K already setting up, already prepped up to get the turn in on the bot side. And there it is, as we see 30 gems currently being dropped by Genji, by Cure, and that's going to be another Web Weaver phase for the blue team for 30K.
Okay, if you're Diamond Hands, you take a deep breath, set up, utilize your wave clear, and attempt to make sure that a Nubrak in particular, you have your eyes on him consistently. Every single time a fight has gone in the favor of 30K, it's because Cattle gets a hard engage after a temporal loop and lands a cocoon. He makes sure that Anduin cannot get off his cleanse and pull the target towards him.
Yeah, and this is 18 to 16, even talent tier fight. Diamond Hands looks like they're opting for topside defense. I do like this, as Hanzo doing a decent amount. Liam here forcing the jump out of the Hanzo.
Caesar, he was on the flank watching for it, thinking about coming in and forcing a fight. Is able to drop a Blessed Shield, needs to stay alive. Cure goes in for a little bit more harassment, but he'll get topped off and healthy, but he is missing out on Blessed Shield for 50 seconds.
Yeah, but in exchange for X-Strike and a free clear on top, I think that's a good trade for Caesar Salad. You're a tank. Hashtag zoning, baby. We take those. And during all of this, Yrel is able to clear up the bottom side as well. As the loop here is going to come out to Maka. Going to use the leaping strike to actually displace it.
Loop.
Oh, a good pull as well. As it looks like here, though, Caesar Salad falling pretty low. Light Bomb onto Cattle. The bunker is in a great position. Cocoon onto the Hanzo as well.
Oh,
another pull. 100 HP, able to survive. Yeah, boy. As Cure looking for it. Cure wants it, but he's not going to be able to get it.
And finally, the bubble comes out from Yrel. The question is whether or not they will chase it. They decide to go ahead and pull on back, but they have defended. Diamond Hands has kept all their keeps. They're bruised and battered, but they're still in it.
Yeah, and they have 59, about to be 60 gems. 30K most likely just going to give this turn in, go for a double camp and say, hey, we'll give you the turn in, but guess what? We're going to have the level 20 advantage, so you're not even going to be able to get anything with it.
It always takes one. One good fight, one turn in, one boss call, going the wrong way, one mistake from your opponents. That's all Diamond Hands can think about. One thing to go our way, we can blow this game wide open. On the other side, 30K, just keep playing as consistent as they possibly can here. 6-0 in kills, and while they're not being able to clean up lately, they are definitely in the driver's seat at the moment.
Yeah, and going to be able to get a lot of gems in here too. Level 20 has been secured. So Diamond Hands just opting to play very passively, recognizing that they're just going to have to give up this turn in and decide for, you know what, hey, we're just going to go for the best of a defense we can. If we lose a couple keeps, we lose a couple keeps. But what we need to do is not lose our core and secure and keep our gems, as that's our way to come back in the game. If we can, chain 2 post-level 20 turn-ins, that's our chance to bring it back. That's our chance to gain this map pressure.
20 to 17. Just keep taking some pressure. The crowd watching with bated breath as 30K moves in. They're going to try to grab this keep. And if you're Diamond Hands, man, this has got to feel really, really poor right now. Caesar Salad and crew holding to the best of their ability. They got a nice concave, too. It makes it really hard for a Nubrak to dive in. Bottom right, Yrel trying to deal with Kira. I'm sure that's a very annoying task. 4 people in the bush here. Notori is not overstepping. He's playing it smart.
Yeah, and if you're the side of Diamond Hands, you're doing the right thing. The mid keep doesn't actually matter, right? It sucks to lose it, but the way that you win this game, again, is by surviving this next Web Weaver turn-in. That's it. If you survive that turn-in, 30K all of a sudden doesn't have a win condition until the boss is up, which is probably going to be relatively soon. I would assume the next, 30 seconds to a minute as you see them starting to posture up there. So coming out of this turn-in, we might see a boss fight, but if Diamond Hands is able to defend it, if they're able to survive, they have 87 gems. With these waves pushing in, they're going to have a bit more, oh, there's the boss. This is very scary situation. This is worst case situation for Diamond Hands. Boss Web Weaver, I don't know if you can do that. The question is, what does Diamond Hands go for? They're just playing passive. They're just giving it up. They're opting to push the bot wave, opting to push the mid wave, and saying, hey, we're going to lose this top keep. We're going to defend on core.
Yeah, the boss is a major threat to the core. That's the issue here. Web Weaver is very good at killing forts, killing keeps. When you get to the core, they get cleared up because of that AoE ability the core has. What a boss. It runs it down completely. Let's see if they're going to be able to handle it here. Notori leading the charge with 46 gems. Man, this is nerve-wracking.
Yeah, and with that mid keep gone, you see Liam, you see Cattle. They're able to flank so hard here. Ice Block is forced. from Madara, so they now have a kill target. Hanzo arrow, it's pretty good, but there's no follow-up. No one's able to get onto them. Legacy as well gets the double stun. Nintori jumping in, trying to zone out here. Cocoon going on to the Lunara. Liam forced to use the Blaze Bunker as well. Cattle going in here. Maka with a good leaping strike, actually mitigating a lot of damage. Cattle, though, Maka is going to lose their life. Bambi has fallen as this looks like it's going to be game number 2. Double Web Weaver faces a full boss and a full team. That's game number 2 going the way of 30K.
Wow, Zera, 30K going in. You gotta shout out Cattle, man. Moving in for the burrow charge, knocking up Lunara after hitting the web, following up with another engage after she leaping strike, hit the rewind button, got an impale, and really set up his team to earn that kill. If Lunara's going down, there's a chance for Diamond Hands, but the moment they lose that DPS, that is so beneficial for their team composition, the game was absolutely over with the boss push again. Great control from 30K, and you gotta shout out, man. Their ability to have that timing down so perfectly to get the boss and the turn in to push in the top while your opponent's level 19 is a world class in playing macro.
Yeah, it was quite the stranglehold that they put onto Diamond Hands. And, you know, I think well played to 30K, but I also think I have to be a little critical of Diamond Hands. I think you had to force earlier. You know, if it's just a Web Weaver face, I think you can defend that. But I think you have to keep a little bit better track of timers, right?
Sure.
If you realize the boss is coming up, you got to think, hey, they're going to try and pair both of these up and maybe, you know, force a fight somewhere else on the map. So even if you get wiped, you know, or even if you lose 3 heroes, you know, if you lose it at the mid, you know, Web Weaver phase or the Web Weaver turn in, you actually have like 15 to 20 seconds before they get to your core, right? So you have, you know, a little bit extra time to defend. So yeah, it's a hard situation though. Really, 30K was in the driver's seat pretty much the whole time. And really the most critical moment is when, you know, the side of Diamond Hands was able to get the turn in, but then they got picked, right? It was like, what, 13 to 13?
Yeah.
That was their chance. That was their window. And, you know, sometimes you miss it. You got jokes.
Yeah. I mean, now that you put me on the spot, I got nothing. My brain's going blank.
All right, but if like I were to put you on the spot and say like, hit me with a joke.
Yeah. What kind of bear
What kind of bear
has no teeth?
No teeth.
Yeah. My chat loves this one. You ready for it?
Tell me.
A gummy bear.
Hey, okay.
I've been telling that joke since 4th grade. It's no big deal.
Oh,
Stole it from the Laffy Taffies, the back of it. They used to have the jokes.
I used to love those jokes.
I used to love those too. Into the match we go is Bayev and Diablo. The engagements have been taken out from Diamond Hands. On the opposing side, 30K banning out Vola
It's like I'm
and
trying to cast and
Brightwing.
Michael keeps sidetracking me into random.
I'm down to be sidetracked. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, man. Like 3 or 4 years ago, I had a cast where we joked a little bit too much, and there was just some dude in the Reddit subreddit who was like, they joke too much. And ever since then, I always have his voice
they
back in my
have
head.
fun?
I know,
How
right?
dare they talk about anything
on
but
one hand,
the
it's like,
game super technically?
yeah, on one hand, you're like, yeah, fuck him. On the other hand, you're like, yeah, you're kind of right. We should probably talk about the matches.
I don't know. At the end of the day, we're here to provide entertainment. And now, look, every single one of the viewers at home, they got a new joke.
That's true.
All right? When
They're
you
gonna
meet,
go tell their parents
you
right
meet
now.
your friends, you meet your grandma, you're like, hey, grandma, I got a joke. Guess what? Guess what? Let me give you this joke, okay? And then, haha, she laughs. Boom, happiness.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting into the draft, we got Johanna again, 3 times in a row. First pick for Diamond Hands. It's game number 3. It didn't work in the first 2. I don't know why we're trying it again. They give up Blaze and Rhaegar.
It's been strong, and we know Cattle is a strong Johanna. And again, the duo of Yrel Johanna 430K is deadly. I don't feel like we're going to see them lose too much when they have that composition.
True.
And I don't know if that's the main focus for it, but that's where my brain leans to. I see that and I go, okay, it makes sense. But here's the thing. If you're going to go for first pick Johanna, you got to make sure that you have the follow-up damage and you're in a position where even if she's in trouble or whatever, you're able to follow it up with CC. Yeah. And Heavy is actually going to pull out one of his best supports that is talked about. There are rumors around the world about his character, the one that he plays. It is a Stukov. It brings the silences, it brings the roots, it brings the heals, and it's going to be paired with a Hogger.
And it brings the smackdown, if you know what I'm saying, the flail and swipe.
I see what you're saying. This guy plays the game, I think.
Used to.
Rhaegar coming out as well with the Blaze. And Blaze, Rhaegar being together has always been a wonderful combo.
So much PvE, so much map pressure with the ability to clear waves, ability to take out, you know, camps.
Drop an Ancestor Healing, they jump in the bunker, it goes through, you get the heal pop out, you come in, you're like, hey, surprise, I'm full health.
Imagine being in that bunker, you know, like real life, like you just hopped in this like kind of cramped bunker.
You're like dying, you're wounded, there's band-aids everywhere, and they're magically healed, and
just
you're like
this
my boy
big
Rhaegar.
old green light just like flashes every angle. You're like, whoa, But yeah, we're going to get a Junkrat and Anubrak. Cattle, I feel like, has been really looking so powerful on this Anub, so I love this pickup. And the Junkrat from Madara are going to allow more PvE, more sustained damage. They have a lot of CC with the Blaze, with the Anubrak, and Riptire is a great follow-up to that as well.
And your Garden of Terror, you need poke. You need to stop tributes coming in. Uther and Greymane for a 4th pick. Double support. Is Maka going to show us how to play the Greymane?
Oh, I think Maka's going to be styling out of his mind. Is it enough? I don't think so. But I think Maka's going to be doing a lot of damages.
Well, hold your horses, mister. You have Rhaegar, Anubrak, and Junkrat, both requiring a couple of auto attacks, you know? And then you fall up into a Dark Flight form, get into the Worgen, and then immediately delete them right away. There are squishy targets on the opposing side. That means Liam has to be perfect, or Cattle has to read the hard engage coming in from Greymane, and there's an Uther D-Shield to help out.
Yeah, but like, it's just Greymane damage.
I feel like there's something that's missing here. He's a wolf. He's powerful.
Okay, true. I might be underestimating the wolf powers. That's fair.
At first, you look at Falstad, and like Falstad might be a little bit on the squishy side, but I do think Falstad is actually a good 5th pickup here.
Yeah.
Just because if Greymane does come in and that Divine Shield pops up, you just push away the rest of your team.
I think it's so much for the macro, too. Like,
Yeah,
I think the team fight's going to be good, but I think really the reason you pick Falstad is, hey, the way that we beat double support is by just not fighting it, right?
Yeah.
Like, Garden of Terror is a map where you can really split push. You can get a lot of value from it. And, you know, Cure on this Falstad, I think, is going to get a lot of value on the Falstad split pushing. So I think that's more of what they're looking towards with the Falstad is just, hey, we're going to have constant map pressure. We're going to be pulling them around. And, you know, they're going to be put in these difficult situations. Hey, will you intro Diamond Hands so I can intro 30K just for this, you know, maybe by chance?
Here we go into Garden of Terror. Let's go ahead and look at Diamond Hands first on the far right in the red, looking to secure a W for their tournament lives. It's going to be Maka on Greybane, Heavy on Stukov, Caesar Salad on Johanna, yeah boy on Hogger, and then Tori, the side laner, playing Uther.
And on the left, in the blue, up 2 games in this series, trying to crown themselves as the best North American team. We've got Cure on Falstad, Liam on Blaze, Cattle being, you know, playing that Anubrak, Madara on the Junkrat, and Legacy playing the Rhaegar, but it's 30K. Yeah, that's it. That's what we got.
That was beautiful. I
Thank
was
you.
in awe. I could tell you were just committed to this team in some way or some form.
You know, I'm a fan sometimes.
Gotta be.
Except when they lose.
Trap comes in. There's a boop. Caesar pulled in, drops down the cleanse, or the tray pulls back just in time, and they get the wave control, which allows them to head straight to the lane. It's always important to get that first wave push, as you'll have the lead there. But Anubrak's trying to stop it. Cattle coming over here, but he sniffs out 3 people. He's gonna play safe.
Yeah, I was talking about the macro pressure that 30K does have, but I actually think Diamond Hand's got a lot of really good macro on their side as well.
Greymane destroys if you ignore him.
Well, also, Hogger's really good at, you know, PvE, able to take down the Bruiser Camp, able to take down the Siege. Johanna, good at clearing waves. And even Stukov is not terrible when it comes to, like, hitting Siege Giants, you know, having damage for building. So I think Diamond Hands actually has a lot of tools, and I like this from Maka. Immediately set up to take out the Siege Camp. And on the other side, 30K is doing these Bruisers, so they're going to have the Siege ideally as defense, and they'll probably have Bruisers on the top side pushing uncontested. So great macro rotation coming out from Diamond Hands here, kind of predicting what 30K is going for.
Yeah, I want to see if they're actually going to hold off on grabbing both of these. We saw it a lot from the Korean teams. If you see a seed that is on the opposite side of the map, usually you hold for a little bit unless you see some kind of invade coming your way, and then try to grab those set up for the seed to be in your favor while you get that macro pressure. Not going to be happening here on the Night Camp, but that Giant potential is still possible in the mid lane. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Night Camp versus Giants, Nentoria and Maka here to help clear it out.
Yeah, and, you know, Hogger as well as the Rhaegar and Falstad taking out Sieges, but Diamond Hand's currently winning this, right? They're able to clear the bot for free, not going to get any push, and Cattle's going to be forced down there. But, you know, 30K may look to get some mid pressure here as well onto the wall. But so far, the early, you know, first 2 minutes are going to be in favor of Diamond Hands. I mean, nothing too significant, not like a game-winning lead at the moment by any means, but definitely, you know, we take all the small advantages we can get. That's really what MOBAs come down to, is how much incremental, you know, in this game, experience and building damage can you get, because it really adds up over time. As Maka here needs to be careful. Gonna actually roll immediately into Liam's stun. A great boop from Madara, but he's still pretty healthy. He's got a Stukov. He's got an Uther. Maka saving private. Maka, is it going to be enough?
No way.
Sidestep. Nope. That's a dead wolf.
That was very unfortunate. Junkrat getting the boop there, so great job from 30K finding the kill, but Maka just unable to sneak out. It was close, though. Centauri and Heavy did everything in their power to help them out. Cattle and the rest of the members do move it down and get some tower damage. The seed is up and available. They're lately on Garden of Terror. The first seed hasn't been a main focus for a lot of teams. They try to just slow it down. You know, clearing out those small seeds are annoying, and then of course for the full altar channel is very difficult as well. Usually around like 7 to 8 is when we've seen the first seed grab, because macro and grabbing all that experience, it seems to be more important for our teams.
Yeah, and Falstad getting the better trade on this top side. Hogger slowly getting worn down, which is why you do see Caesar Salad rotating up there to try and help. And this could open an opportunity for 30K to potentially look to step into those seeds or even pressure the bot side. But yeah, Hogger doesn't win this 1v1 into the Falstad, so it's a bit unfortunate. But like you mentioned, Trick, both teams seem pretty content here to just let it stall out, to not actually pressure the trib, and just opt to, you know, clear waves, look for opportunities to get picks, look for opportunities to get kills, and kind of start snowballing that experience in Structure League as Cattle, speaking of kills, wants Heavy, gonna get booped in. But they're not going to have enough damage with just the Junkrat into the Uther and the Stukov. They're going to need a third hero to ever get a kill.
And that's one of my favorite thing about double support compositions is it does require the assassin to be bold with their movement. You step up and trust your teammates to help out. Now in the mid lane, some pressure once again on Hogger. He walks away. That seems to be a continuing theme for that character. First seed is now grabbed at level 7. Remember, when all 3 are grabbed, we'll have the plant terrors moving down all 3 lanes. Another stun comes in from Liam, but with the jet propulsion, he'll get out of there just in time. Ooh, a bit of a weird roll there for Yeah Boy. Okay, he's fine. He gets out.
Ooh, Maka. Still mounted. Still on the cloud.
That is so frustrating when Junkrat just like looking at you. He's like when he goes up, he like does like a little like Zenyatta pose.
Yeah. He's like, what up?
He's like, what's up? It's like, come on, man. Oh, Maka looking for a kill, but not gonna be able to get there. But look at the experience. It is very, very close. 30K with a slight lead, but with the Mercs being grabbed and a second seed coming in, that continuous movement towards level 10 lingers.
Yeah, both teams closely approaching it. 1 level to go. Both of them starting to take out more camps here. Still a pretty even game. I mean, Garden of Terror, here's the thing. We're going to be in for at least another 15 minutes, folks. We are in for, you know, at least one more game going 15 minutes because this map always goes late. You know, Garden of Terror very rarely ends before level 20, if not level like 24, 25. So, you know, especially with the 2 compositions we see, it's really going to be coming down to these late game team fights. So everything that happens here in the early game, you know, it matters, but it's not going to matter as much as what happens in the late game unless people are really start to get structure damage, because that's, you know, what's going to enable you to actually win the game, actually get more map pressure. But yeah, I would just expect to see, you know, things to continue kind of just soaking out, people kind of looking for, you know, team fights, looking for kills. But really, we'll probably start to have some more 5v5 team fights once one team actually gets 2 seeds secured. So people are trying to actually deny them getting the Garden Terror, or if someone's like pressuring a forward.
What was the phrase that you used? It's a quarter, a half, or a third of an hour here that we are all locked in there. Just be ready for that. 10s do connect. 30K is poised to start working on the scene. Meanwhile, Diamond Hands is in a position to delay. Notori should throw out his W there. Beacon of Light, I believe is what it's called. Get the delay. Notori also stepping up, thinking about a stun. There is a little boop there from Junkrat that could stop a Nubarak. They decide to go ahead and pull away with the Night Camp being grabbed. Johanna, meanwhile, has to answer against Falstad. That's that global pressure that will be very, very annoying throughout this match.
Yeah, great play coming out from Kira so far. I really have to say, you know, pressuring out the Hogger top in the early game, you know, kind of just constantly being in the correct situation, kind of being in the correct spot, and is going to be able to survive this 2v1, I would expect, as no Blessed Shield for Johanna means they don't actually have that much kill pressure onto the Falstad. And with 2 heroes showing bottom and Falstad flying top, this is going to be, you know, the first seed terror going the way of 30K. So we've got it evened up 1-1 as we've got, you know, also 11-11. That's a lot of 1s in this game, if you know what I'm saying.
That is a lot of 1s there. Jeez, 11-11, 1-1. If only there was a 1 win for Diamond Hands. Hopefully they can get it here.
Is that some shade? That's some cantaloupe if I've ever heard it. That's some,
oh my god.
I'll get you a 30K shirt. Okay, Tim.
I can't believe that. Yeah, so just like a reason why we constantly have this map pressure where both teams are very close on experience, it's because if you make a mistake on Garden of Terror, it can feel very hard to climb back. So you want to make sure that your priority is to stay as even as possible and stay on top of the Merc camp timing. Because there's 3 apiece for each team. If you suddenly have someone get lost, you steal 1 from your opponents, and Merc experience stacks up really fast. And Tori gets pulled back in the middle lane, while Heavy is actually going to be using a shove to push away Cattle.
Yeah, but with the double support, just so hard for them to actually take anyone down. Johanna in the top side being forced to match up 1v1 versus the Falstad because they don't have anyone else that can actually win this 1v1 matchup. I mean, maybe Greymane, but you have to have Greymane with your double supports. Otherwise, they're not going to get any value, and they're just going to get out-traded. But as you mentioned, the Merc camps are very important to be started as we have Diamond Hands starting to take them. But I think this provides an opportunity. Yeah, 30K going to be able to get the second seed in their favor. Wasn't in a great position, so Diamond Hand just opts to give it up and says, hey, we'll fight the next one.
Yeah, that's one of the things when it comes down to seeds. There are some that are kind of gimmies based on the positioning. And that's why 30K actually adjusts their draft forward with Junkrat coming in here, because they want to be in a position that if there is a seed on the opposing side, part of the map, throw out a couple grenades, slow them down, be annoying until you have an advantage, or Falstad can at least buy time to work on a tower. Stun comes out, Liam's the focus, there's a silence, and he gets to lead it. Divine Shield comes out as well. Uther gets low, but it's okay. If Tori falls, remember, he can heal. He's coming around the corner, will not have the stun available, but at least he got the Divine Shield, and Maka's able to retreat, which is important. Mighty Gus comes out, Heavy is focused. Here comes Cattle, falling sword. Heavy able to start moving back. Does he have a heal? Not quite yet. Dodges the impale, sidestep, but here comes the tire.
Oh my gosh, did you see how far Stukov's body flew? It was like all the way to the third keep. Get him on out of here, Madara.
Probably one of the best things about gaming nowadays. Ragdoll physics.
I love how far the bodies go. Or like when they get trapped in tornadoes, like the Sky Temple boss tornado, and like you'll see the bodies. Like honestly, that stuff just cracks me up. It's like a nice, chef's kiss, a nice little touch to the game.
It shows how strong the heroes are.
Yes,
they're so powerful. They knock your dead corpse across the map. Another seed being grabbed in the top right corner, and with Hogger being here by himself, it will be 2-2, which means the next seed grab, Michael Udall, is going to be the Plant Terrors running down the lanes.
Yes, it's going to matter. So would expect to see both teams posture around that one to actually fight around that one. And I don't think, maybe we'll get 16 achieved for one of the teams here. Maka needs to be a little bit careful, though, as Cattle waiting in the wings could look to go on this. Oh, the root, though, actually coming out. Maka's won't the follow with the body blocks. The Gus comes out. Well played by Cure.
That Gus was right there on point. If there was one more auto attack, he goes out. 100%.
He's dead faux show.
Third seed popping up, and imagine if a Nubrak wasn't here. This would be a free seed for Diamond Hands. So that Gus being used, massive. Remember, it is a low cooldown. So here we go. 15 seconds and counting. This third seed is set up. There is giant pressure to note at the very, very top. Yaboy is going to do his best here to clear out this night camp, but it might be slightly late here. In fact, he's pulling up most of his team, and only Mock is by himself. If Cattle finds out about this, a web comes out or a full engage, and he might get picked off. I'm actually really worried.
Yeah, Cattle looking for it. Stukov going to be able to stall. That stinks, though. You just had to use such a big cooldown. You had to use your silence. You had to use your potential, root extra CC. As Notori going to get burrow charged from Maka, and they're just going to all in onto the Anubrak here, doing a decent amount of damage. But 16 has now been achieved for the side of 30K. Falstad, I would expect to see, maybe looks for a fly here, as Hogger's also on the top side. Diamond Hands in a very scary situation here, and they're just going to opt to give up the terror. They're going to recognize, hey, we don't want to take this, 4v5 down 16 talent tier team fight. So we're just going to give it up. And they're probably going to lose one, maybe 2 forts. Maybe even all 3 forts for it. But, that's not so terrible. As Yaboy actually taking a lot of damage here. Caesar Salad, no roll though for Cure. Great, unstoppable. Caesar Salad with the outplay using the falling sword allows them both to take down the Falstad.
Oh my gosh, that was impressive. Diamond Hands in game number 3 coming out fighting. If they go down, at least they're going down with the fight. Web goes out. They're looking at Uther. Watch for the CC here. Heavy in a position to make sure he provides a heal and a massive jump if need be. The Tomb, or the Guard Terror, almost lands a massive stun on top of it. But Diamond Hands able to sneak away. And with that pick on the top lane on Falstad, that gives some wiggle room to Diamond Hands to clear this all up.
Yeah. They do use all 3 forts most likely. Actually, we'll see, because they are looking to make a defense here. They don't have the Hogger, so that's a lot of, the Greymane, so that's a lot of their damage actually missing. But they still have the double support. Falstad could look to fly in, so it could be a 4v5 if Diamond Hands overextends. But, end up just losing 2 forts. I think you'll take that if you're Diamond Hands. Yep. You also got the pick on Falstad, and now the power play is in your advantage. You're currently up 2 seeds to 0, so the next, Garden Terror phase is most likely going to be yours, and they should be able to get a lot done with it.
Yeah, and the best part is they have 3 opportunities. If they see a fight that they don't quite like, or they don't like to see positioning, go to the next one. It's fine. Take your time. Use patience here. Remember, this is their tournament life on the line here. They got to make sure that their next fight to get the seed is the most perfect one that they possibly can do. 30K, with Falstad coming back, immediately head towards the main objective of setting up their minion waves. Top is pushing, mid is working on being pushed, bottom lane has some pressure as well. Kier stealing away a giant camp. Caesar Salad actually sees it with the hammers. Kier locked down. Silence to come out in time. He misses it, and Kier has been picked twice now in this series. 3-3 end kills, and the seed will be spawning soon.
Yeah, that was just some. That's the boomer hands coming in. Yeah. Honestly, you know, Kier a couple of years ago, he's rolling and gusting. He's out of there. But one thing to note. 16 Alpha Killer was the choice for Greymane, so actually going to be a lot more % damage. And let's see if it comes in here onto Catalyst. You see Greymane just chunking out the health of this Anubrak. Cocoon does come on onto the Greymane. That's a lot of the damage actually being taken down. But Legacy here on the Rhaegar, not going to be able to get any heals off, and that's 2 dead for 30K. It's coming up all Diamond Hands here in game number 3.
Liam has a flank. He was seeing if his opponents would make a mistake and maybe go a little bit too close to that fort, but Liam's going to slow them down with a little bit of oil. Giants pushing down the bottom side, and that fort is down to half HP. Greymane making his way to the middle of the map, and with 30 seconds on the field before we have Rhaegar, that support is missing. Every single ounce of attack damage is worth its weight in gold at the moment.
Oh, Caesar Salad. I mean, he's got 2 supports behind him. He's fine. Guys, I'm just zoning.
We chilling.
As Heavy looks for the root there, not going to be able to connect. Remember, this is a Garden Terror for Diamond Hands if they're able to connect it. Still, no Rhaegar, no healer for 30K for another 10 seconds. The Junkrat. Okay, Gus does come out. They're stalling pretty well in Liam. Liam's got next. He's got the flank on the top side. He's going to be able to walk in here and get Heavy. A great rotation from Liam. And now Rhaegar's back up, running from base. All they need is just a few more stalls. This is such a difficult position for the side of Diamond Hands to actually get this trip. And a great play from 30K, down 4v5, no healer, lose no one, and stall out the tribute.
I also like that Diamond Hands realizes, okay, let's try and get this tribute. If we get it before Rhaegar gets up, wonderful, that's great for us. But if we don't, we can back up, because look at that 20. They're halfway away from it. If they soak right now instead of for that next 3rd tribute, they should be good to go. Now, do know about 30K. They know that this seed is in position that's very difficult for Diamond Hands to get, so they don't grab it.
I like that.
They don't want to give them an opportunity to get to level 20 and set themselves up for the next play. That was a fantastic decision made by the shot caller, who I assume was Kier.
Yeah, Kier is definitely the shot caller. I mean, who knows? Cattle's also got, you know, great shot calling. Mindset used to do a lot for Tempo Storm. And, 30K needs to be careful. 20 is mere seconds away for the side of Diamond Hands. You do not want to get caught in a fight here. But during all of this, actually, Kier split pushing on the bot side. Also has Bruiser Camp coming up. So if Diamond Hands doesn't respond to this, their keep is going to start getting pressured. Level 20 to level 20. Wow. Okay, Kier.
He's going for it.
I think he's going to get it. No one's even... Okay, Hogger's just now backing, but Liam's going to be able to stall that. Kier. Okay, flying out. He's not trying to say he's being a little scaredy cat, but he's being a little scaredy cat. That was a full keep, baby.
Level 20 picked up, that wind tunnel. Yes. Looking for an opportunity. He kind of assumed that Greymane and crew would go to the middle of the fort and start putting some damage there. And if you overstep against a false out, we've all seen it. Yeah. With a wind tunnel coming in, you get knocked in the fort, and that's lights out for your entire team. Diamond Hands and crew, now a 20-20 on their opponents. Pull on back. 30K puts their foot to the pedal and immediately starts applying the aggression.
Yeah, seeing Hogger's bottom, recognizing they have a 4v5, saying, you know what, your siege camp is ours. Okay, this seed is in a very good spot for Diamond Hands. This is their opportunity. This is their chance to bring it back. And they also have the level 20 team fights. They have no control on the Hogger. They've got Heaven's Fury, the upgraded Falling Sword on Johanna, upgraded Shove, AoE D-Shield that also lasts longer. And my favorite, we've got Greymane going for the ultimate upgrade, the Unleashed. So that's an extra 25% damage. And if you kill the target, it's a full refund into the Junkrat, into the Falstad, into the Rhaegar. Maka could go absolutely hamski in this team fight with a upgraded D-Shield and that ultimate. So that's where all my eyes are going to be on.
Diamond Hands turning my legs into jelly legs, that's for sure right now. They are on the edge. They need to get their fight. They need to force something. And Tori's over here on the left side looking at Hogger. He can be the one that can force the issue. Kier's in the top right corner already working on that wall once again. Liam is not showing. So Diamond Hands assumes this is potentially a 45. The tribute is grabbed, and we're going to have our terrors pushing down the lanes. And you already have Notori prepping the bottom lane. Look at the middle, though. Greymane's coming in for a potential flank all by himself. He gets rooted. He gets knocked back. Here comes the Falling Sword. Maka moving in. They're low. Ancestor healing, hitting multiple targets. Moka's able to back away, and he's getting some heals from Notori as they push with the terror.
That's Ancestral Force, though, as well as Cocoon. Diamond Hands, they recognize bot terror, top terror. They don't matter. All that matters is this mid terror. They can't fight us in a 5v5 team fight. So let's force the issue. Cure on the flank. Could look for a gust opportunity. Okay, just going to roll over here. Just going to look to help defend with their team. But they still have D-Shield for the side of Diamond Hands. They still have the ability to click all their buttons and just run at them.
Yeah.
As Stukov Silence is going to go on to, Nubrak. Not going to be anything. But yeah, Diamond Hands not going to be able to get much. They really wanted more here.
What's Wind Tunnel going to do against 5 Divine Shields? If you just straight up dive all the way in. And
True.
remember, it asks 1 second longer as well. It will need a perfect execution and, of course, that slight trigger. But 30K isn't given the opportunity up yet. The top seed was cleaned up. Here comes the Giants. They would love to get this keep, and it would be the first keep of the game, because do remember, Kier wasn't able to get the keep in the bottom right portion of the map. Liam turns around, goes for Jet Propulsion. Here comes the Cleanse. No Divine Shield yet. It's still available. Falling Sword as well here for Diamond Hands.
Yeah, I really think in the Gust versus Divine Shield cooldown, matchup, it's going to come down to whoever clicks first, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like mover's advantage. Whoever clicks first is really going to have the advantage. But if they overextend with the D-Shield, don't really get much out of it. Cure could look for a turnaround Gust as Diamond Hands here looking to force the advantage. Don't want to give up any portion of the map, as they're going to be looking to take away 30K Siege Giants. And I think if you're 30K, you don't actually really care that much about these. You can just clear them up right after, as you see Cure already on the Falstad walking towards the bot side. If he's able to get 10, 15, 20 seconds free pushing in this bot side, he will get a keep. Or even if he's able to, prep up this Cattle Wave and maybe clear the next one. Okay, but Diamond Hands smartly reading it, just going for all of 30K's camps. I like this. I like the aggression from Diamond Hands.
Michael Udall, I can't take this, man. I feel like we're sitting on a bubble that's about to pop.
We still got 2 more levels. I told you
You're
we're
right.
going to 24. We still got 2 more levels.
He called the 24, the 25. Will we get there? Night Camp being grabbed. Another boot coming in from Junkrat. The Giant also getting taken away. 30K making no mistake. Playing as safe as possible, delaying where they can, trying to poke, getting information. Junkrat continuing with the nades, and a second seed is spawning. We may actually see a third phase here of the Garden Terror.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I just peeked the damage.
Peek it.
Murdara's got 74K hero damage, and the next closest is Maka with 36K.
Yeah, that's the difference between inflation and, effective damage, right? When you're
True.
constantly poking against double support, that damage is going to stack up, but ultimately when it comes down to it, are you getting kills?
True.
There have only been 7 kills 20 minutes into this matchup, and you got to find that one to break. And the cool part, too, is based on these compositions, either team loses one, the team fight falls apart.
Yes.
Completely. And that's why you're seeing so many people playing so patient, and they're waiting for the angle. That's why you see the shadows being utilized. Every single piece of information you can deny from your opponent is a massive advantage. It cannot be oversold.
1 seed to 1 seed. Double camps picked up for Diamond Hands. We're, 20 minutes into this game. It's getting tense. This is tournament life for Diamond Hands. They lose this next Terror, they lose this game. Their trip to Miami all of a sudden becomes, a lot less sweet. It's filled with some sorrow. They really need this game to start the reverse sweep. It is raining.
It is raining.
And their dreams are about to be rained on if they lose this one. Too much?
Absolute Pepe hands. No, keep going, man. I'm feeling the saddest right
That's
now.
what I'm saying. I'm trying to set up a little bit of
cheering
story.
the underdogs
oh,
here.
Liam.
Bunker comes out. Liam able to walk away. Does pack his trait here. Seeds are up and available. Cattle in a position to defend it. Yeah, boy, on the bottom right. This choke is hard to push into with Junkrat floating around. Traps already set up. Kier going for the top. Keep once again. Showing the cards here. Yeah, boy goes in. Cattle's locked down. Greymane's here. The falling sword. The lightning strikes.
Ancestral does come out. This is all just stall, though. This is just stall tactics for 30K. They know they cannot take a team fight. Literally, a 5v5 is basically death. Nah, that's just a walk away Cocoon. That's just a we're stalling for our boy Cure on the keep Cocoon. As Cure here with the good macro heads up play, going to be able to get the top keep. Liam actually could get taken down here.
No bunker.
Maka going on to him. No bunker for 20 seconds. That's going to be a dead blaze. No Ancestral.
Liam locked down.
Legacy. If they're able to chain a couple of picks here, it could be disaster for 30K as Riptire is going to connect.
The falling sword onto Rhaegar. He takes some damage. A Nubrak burrow charges out. There are 5 members here knocking on the keep wall. There is a minion wave pushing through the middle and the bottom. One pick. Monumental here. No Blaze to be on the back right. Allows for Diamond Hands to move over and grab 1 seed. 1 kill, 1 seed.
You need to force Diamond Hands. Run it down mid. No cap. Run it down mid. Who cares? Oh.
Oh, Cure
Wow,
tailwinding out.
That was close. If
No
Cure gets
follow-up.
picked there, it's very scary. But I still would like to see Diamond Hands. You still have 20 seconds.
Yeah.
I know they have Gust, but just force in mid. Force in a lane. These camps are not even doing that much for you. The experience doesn't matter. You just need to try and force some sort of a team fight, as Boop is going to get laid down. But yeah, Diamond Hands, they now have the terror advantage, and this is going to be in a good spot for them. Diamond Hands should be getting this Garden Terror. I would like to see them maybe look to push out the top wave. The bot wave's already in a pretty good spot. Cattle, though, going to be forced to cleanse. Legacy here.
Big knock.
Really good Gust coming out from Cure to re-engage. Hogger, though, in a scary situation, is going to get Falling Sword, is going to be forced to go out. But okay, Caesar Salad didn't actually get the reset on the Falling Sword there, so it's actually going to be a 40-second cooldown. The level tournament was not triggered.
There is a world where if you feel like this terror is important enough to you, you can Divine Shield it and channel it.
Yeah.
Straight up and just take it away from them.
I think it's free, though.
Yeah, I think it is free as well. Look at 30K. They don't want to walk away from their towers. They want to make sure that if they are in a fight, they have Mighty Gust available so they can layer that out.
Yep.
Now, remember, there was a keep grabbed in the top right corner, so prepping that lane is pretty darn massive here for Diamond Hands. Having the terror available as well will help push that back, and they decide a lane that they want to go. And so far, it's looking like they're heading in the middle. This could be it. This could be the moment for game.
Yeah, this is Diamond Hand. This is your opportunity, because if you don't end here, you're hoping for a team fight. Level 24, 224, 24 minutes into the game. I called it, baby. This is the moment. This is where champions are made. Diamond Hand back up against the wall. You need this fight. You need some kills. You need to secure this win so that you can start your reverse sweep. Are they going to be able to do it, Tim?
Hogger eating the trap, stepping up. Here comes a Riptire looking for damage, and Tori goes for a stun. They're going to burn it down. The heal's being spread out by Snook off the Terror, chucks it down to a quarter. On the top lane, there's also another Terror coming in. We gotta have Caesar Salad step up.
Liam.
There's a Trey engagement coming in from Liam. There's a bunker. Cooldowns being burned just to survive. The keep is down to half HP.
No mid terror, no bottom terror, and this top terror is all you have left. Diamond Hands, what did you get? You spent so much time getting 3 terrors and you got half a mid keep? That's rough. A great defense from 30K. They have the false stat, they have the Junkrat damage, and they're able to stall it out. Is this really going to go for another 3 terrors as Kerr playing on the sideline? I mean, 30K doesn't really want to force. It's still difficult for them to take a team fight unless you get like a beautiful wombo combo Gust into Riptire. We might be going the distance. We might be going to level 30.
I mean, this is the beauty of 30K being up 2-0. They don't have to make anything happen. If they do happen to lose this game, they go to a game number 4. The tournament lives are on Diamond Hands. There's probably an issue of nerves right here, right? It's probably the furthest we've seen Diamond Hands ever make it into a tournament. So I get the hesitation.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, you have to pull the trigger at some point.
Yeah.
You absolutely do, and you have to be okay with your decision, win or lose.
You don't want to be the player. You know, I've been in this mindset before.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I don't want to be the one that makes the mistake that makes us lose.
Yeah.
And that definitely is a losing mindset. You know, you got to be thinking, yeah, you know, not even about being the one that makes the play that makes the team win. You know, you're more of just thinking, what is my role? What do I need to do to set my team up for success? You know, not trying to be a hero, but also not trying to, you know, play super passive and not make a mistake.
Let me ask you a question, Michael Udall.
Yes, yes.
If you don't want to be a hero, why are you playing Heroes of the Storm?
Hey, okay, that's a good
That's
question.
a mindset we need to have right there. What would Thrall do?
What would I mean?
Green Jesus.
He would blink Sunder. If I,
He would.
He would blink
He
Sunder.
would World Breaker that stuff.
Oh, he would blink Sunder. They would Divine Shield, and he'd insta die. You know what I'm saying?
Let's see if it's gonna happen.
But
here.
I would do it.
Do Diamond Hands have the Thrall in them, or are they just a murky? Spawning over and over, going through the motion.
Ooh.
Web comes out, but a bit of a layer there as Liam and crew
worth.
use it so they can set up for the tribute, and they grab 2 seeds, and suddenly 30K, through their patience, has ripped away the power from Diamond Hands and now have them on the back foot.
Yeah, really patient, really excellent play from 30K. Recognizing, hey, we don't really win team fights, but playing the map perfectly, able to get that top keep. You know, Falstad also was able to pressure the bot keep. And now, oh, you see Cure just immediately flying bottom.
He showed it too.
He showed it too.
What if you rip Divine Shield here and is going for the keep and trying to kill?
I think you just hard engage.
Go.
Yeah, and that's what Diamond Hand's looking for. You have the D-Shield. You have the Falling Sword. Just look at Madara. He doesn't have Boop. Just activate it and go, as it looks like they're going to be looking to maybe just trade mid keep for bottom keep, as it looks like Hogger now going to be going in here. Riptire coming
There
out.
it is.
Madara falling very, very low. Ancestral is going to hit. It's going to be a 4v5. During all of this, though, Cure gets the keep. Maybe going to be pressuring the core. If they're not careful, Cure could look to turn it around. Hogger rolling
Where's
out.
the Divine Shield?
Going to be able to escape. They might be able to look for the AoE one. It doesn't actually even connect onto Maka. But during all of this, Cure is going for the base race.
Hogger is spitting on the bottom, too. There's a big web on Greymane. Cure trying to go for it. Yeah, boy, moving in. They're getting low.
80%.
The Divine Shield has been used. Here's the Falling Sword. It's becoming a base race. 70% versus 100%. Do they have the
50,
damage? Greymane needs to get over there.
40,
down to 90. It's falling fast.
10.
Oh, my gosh. Michael Udall. If you look over to it, it's going to be a victory for 30K as they take out the core. Incredible gameplay coming from them. The patience, it pays off.
The beautiful map awareness from Cure saying, I don't care that you can see me, I'm flying anyways.
Yeah.
And it pays off. You know, Diamond Hands, that's a hard spot. You kind of
It's
just
hard.
have to hard engage. And you know, it was close, 50% to 0%. Also, nerfs kind of get you that long,
Yeah.
but excellently played by 30K. A 3-0 victory, slaying the other North American team. You know what? You know, oh, Khaldor! Khaldor!
I got you.
I got you baited by Khaldor. Oh my gosh.
Oh, he's so proud. Here he is.
Wow.
Look at it.
Yeah, wow. He got me with the NA lol. But I'm so proud of my boys. So proud of 30K getting that 3-0.
Yeah, the patience, you know, it looked a little bit on the scary side, but I think the patience just comes down to a sense of composure.
Yeah.
All these players on 30K, they've been here before.
Yes.
Experience, we talked about it at the very, very beginning before game number 1. Cattle, Cure, Liam, these are players that have been in massive big tournaments. Pandora and Legacy joining them as well. And that composure really was showcased here. There are going to be moments tonight where Diamond Hands is sleeping, thinking about this game.
Yeah.
And they're like, what if we went here? What if we went there? What if we Divine Shielded and went straight for the core? We had a Greymane. And you know what? It's okay to have those thoughts. We all make mistakes. No one's blaming you. Next time, though, come out with a little bit more aggression. Be okay with the decisions that you make, because that's what it's all about. That's what it's being about a team. And I want to say that even though Diamond Hands is going home, I think they impressed a lot here, and they can be very, very proud of what they did in this tournament.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think well played. I mean, that last game, what? It went to like 26-26. Yeah, it's Garden of Terror, but it was a very close one.
Yeah.
You know, just a couple different decisions come out, and that's a Diamond Hands win, and that's potentially the start of, you know, a reverse sweep. But that's, you know, not the timeline that we're in. In the timeline we're in, 30K just got the W, and that means they're going to be moving on into the tournament. They got some scary European, they got some scary Korean teams ahead of them.
Yeah, Anomite, Tempest, Bangbush,
yes,
and 30K. I believe that all 4 of them?
Yeah, and it's going to be Ammonite next, right? So they're going to be going up against the second seed from Korea.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.